Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Cathy McGrath, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. And today's issue of the Neepawa Banner and Press is for Friday, September 23rd, 2022. And right on the front, a celebration of selfless service. Neepawa Ladies Auxiliary celebrates 90th anniversary by Owen Devereaux. A rare and truly significant milestone has been achieved by the Neepawa Legion Ladies Auxiliary. The nonprofit organization, which is aligned with and though operated separately from the Royal Canadian Legion, has recently celebrated its 90th anniversary. A gathering commemorating the special occasion was held in Neepawa at the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 23 building on Tuesday, September 13th. Around 50 people, which included current and former auxiliary members, as well as other supporters of the group, were on hand for the festivities. A huge milestone. Ladies Auxiliary past presidents Yvonne Ferguson and Jean Jackson served as the masters of ceremonies for the evening, which included several acknowledgements from notable dignitaries. One such acknowledgement was from Marie Barron, the Deputy District 2 Commander for the Legion Ladies Auxiliary. I'm honoured to represent the Provincial Council, Legion Ladies Auxiliary, Royal Canadian Legion, Manitoba and Northwest Ontario at this special occasion, celebrating the Neepawa Auxiliary, said Barron. 90 years is a huge milestone. You should be very proud of your accomplishment because tonight is a result of years of hard work and cooperation. Your fundraising efforts have been remarkable, supporting many charities and local projects. Best wishes on your continued success. Barron, on behalf of the Provincial Council, also presented the Auxiliary with a declaration for the club's 90th anniversary in the community. Other well-wishers were provided by the Neepawa Mayor, Blake McCutcheon, Ladies Auxiliary President, Lori Kohinski, and Neepawa Legion Branch 23 President, Kevin Paramore. And pictured are Marie Barron, the Deputy District 2 Commander, and presenting the Legion Ladies past presidents Yvonne Ferguson and Jean Jackson with a declaration for the club's 90th anniversary in the community. And that continues over here. And pictured from left are 50-year auxiliary member Leanne Hardy and lifetime member Norma Reed. A personal milestone was also celebrated on the night as Leanne Hardy was presented with her pin for 50 years of service within the auxiliary. Over the years, Hardy has assisted in multiple ways, from baking for and organizing special events to playing piano from 2008 to 2015, or at any time she was asked to entertain. The presentation came as a surprise for Hardy, who was humbled by this special acknowledgement. Generation to generation. While the occasion has significance for everyone involved, for Nancy Sintak it meant something a little extra special for her and her family. Edith Hare and her 4 daughters, which includes Nancy, have long had a strong commitment to the auxiliary. Sintak, who now lives in Brandon, said it was important to be in attendance for this. It became a family tradition from generation to generation. Our mother, and all the daughters joined, even my daughter and granddaughter. It was very personal and out of respect for our mum. She was involved for 50-plus years. She had her life membership. It was just important to carry on the tradition because it is a group that does so much good for its community, stated Sintak. Auxiliary history. The purpose of the Legion Ladies Auxiliary is to provide financial and volunteer support for their local Legion and community programs. Neepawa's auxiliary first began in December 1932 with 16 charter members. Over the years, it is comprised of up to over 80 members, making it one of the largest service organizations in the Neepawa area. While membership was once tied to the Royal Canadian Legion, membership eligibility is now open to any woman over the age of 18. And on the lower side, Gladstone sunflower reaches new heights. Bryson Campbell stood next to his grandma and grandpa's sunflower in Gladstone, which is almost 14 feet tall. And Fuel Good Day raises funds for local daycares. Neepawa Gladstone Co-op gas stations held their Fuel Good Day fundraiser on September 20th, where 10 cents from every liter sold goes to a chosen nonprofit. This year, they were raising funds for local daycares in Neepawa and Gladstone. Results from the fundraisers will be in a future edition. Pictured above, staff of Buds and Bloom and Seeds and Sprouts daycares were running the barbecue at the Neepawa Gas Bar. And pictured right, Preston Jarama, manager of the Neepawa Co-op Gas Bar, fills up a car on a busy day. And new mural displayed on banner and press wall. Some local artwork is up for all to see on the south wall of the Neepawa Banner and Press building. The painting was commissioned by Neepawa Tourism, painted by Neepawa Area Collegiate Art students under the guidance of teacher Cathy Martin. There are currently 2 paintings up in the community, the other being on the ArtsForward building. The plan is for students to paint 2 murals like this per year over the next few years to get an outdoor gallery established in the community. This image was based off a photo taken by John Luigi Pido at the High Life Back 40 Trail Park. Brian Hedley to be claimed as Mayor of Neepawa by Owen Devereaux. And pictured is Councillor Brian Hedley, who is expected to be acclaimed as Mayor. While the municipal election is only just started, there's already one high-profile race that is unofficially official, as Brian Hedley is expected to be acclaimed as Mayor of Neepawa. Hedley, who was first elected to Neepawa Town Council in 2018, is the lone individual who has submitted his name for the job. The position of mayor is open due to Blake McCutcheon deciding not to run for a second term. As for the election of councillors, as of Wednesday, September 21st, there were 9 individuals that had submitted their names for consideration for the 6 available positions. The names of the candidates could not be released publicly, however, before the banner and press publication deadline. That was due to the deadline for candidate withdrawal being set for September 21st at 4 p.m., 2 hours after the newspaper goes to print. The finalized list of political hopefuls will appear in the September 30th edition. As well, additional details and a full interview with Neepawa's soon-to-be mayor will appear in an upcoming edition of the Banner and Press. The municipal election will take place on October 26. There is so much to learn about this condition. A local family organizes walk in support of Manitoba Down Syndrome Society by Casper Warren. A special cause is coming back to the Neepawa area this year. The Walk With Us campaign is returning for its 3rd year on September 25th. The campaign raises funds for the Manitoba Down Syndrome Society, MDSS, and is the only walk for this cause located outside of Winnipeg. The walk will begin at 3 p.m. at the Langford Walking Trails located 6 miles east of Neepawa on Highway 16 and 3 miles south on Road 81. A local family raising a child with Down syndrome is organizing this event to bring awareness of the condition and supports that are available through MDSS, said Cathy Jasnick, Langford Recreational Trails representative. Down syndrome is a genetic condition caused by an extra chromosome. It is estimated that about 1 in every 800 babies in Canada has Down syndrome. The MDSS provides ongoing support, information, and opportunities for individuals with Down syndrome, parents, professionals, and other interested persons. The event is one close to the hearts of the organizers, Will and Brandy Cox. Their youngest son, Logan, was born with Down syndrome 3 years ago. As parents of a child with Down syndrome, there is so much to learn about this condition. Education is very important, said the Cox family. Early intervention and ongoing therapies greatly benefit a child with Down syndrome. All funds are being raised via donation. Anyone wishing to lend a hand to the cause can do so via https://walkwithus.ca/campaigns/team-logan/. Everyone, young and old, is welcome to attend and participate, said Jasnick. Following the walk, hot dogs and drinks will be supplied, too. Bring your cameras, as this is one of the most beautiful times of the year to see the Langford Trails in all their glory. ArtsForward organizes an event for National Day of Truth and Recreation. Indigenous cultural presentation scheduled for September 29th at the Flats in Neepawa by Kira Patterson. And pictured are 2 pictures from last year's Truth and Reconciliations, so that were well received. ArtsForward is planning another event for this year for Neepawa students and community members on September 29th at the Flats. And powwow demonstrations were part of the 2021 Truth and Reconciliation event. ArtsForward and the Neepawa Middle School are working together to organize a celebration of the 2nd annual National Day of Truth and Reconciliation. While the holiday itself is recognized on September 30th, schools will be closed that day, so the event will take place on September 29th, so Neepawa students can attend with their classes. Students from all 3 Neepawa schools will be taking in the celebration at the Flats, but it is also open to the public. When I started my position at ArtsForward last fall, I was determined to bring an Indigenous Culture Day to Neepawa, noted Yvonne Sisley, administrator at ArtsForward. The Indigenous culture is amazing, and I've been very fortunate to be able to attend powwows and get to experience that side of the culture. I knew I had to somehow bring that experience to the students here, and with ArtsForward being the cultural center in this area, I felt it was our obligation to ensure we did this. This year's Truth and Reconciliation event will be an all-day celebration, starting with a powwow presentation at 9:45 a.m. for approximately an hour. Following the presentation, there will be several stations for students to rotate between, including bannock making, beadworking, drums, regalia, and dancing, as well as a teepee. Another powwow presentation will take place at 1:30 for the remainder of students to attend that weren't there in the morning. After 2:30, classes will have another chance to visit the stations or ask questions to the powwow presenters. Also throughout the day, local Indigenous artist Megan Peters will be on site working on a live art piece in which students will also be able to be involved. Last year, for the 1st annual Day of Truth and Reconciliation, ArtsForward had a hand in organizing a powwow at the Neepawa Area Collegiate Track, which inspired the plans for this year's celebration. Neepawa Middle School teacher Miles Cathcart approached me after the presentation ArtsForward put on last year in hopes that the grade 7s could have an entire day of activities. This is how this expanded into stations for the grade 7s to be at throughout the day, explained Sisley. She stated that reconciliation needs to start with the youth in our community. They are the future, and they can be the change needed moving forward, she expressed. After the success of that year's event, Sisley applied for several grants to help fund another one this year. Beautiful Plains Community Foundation, Building Sustainable Communities, the Town of Neepawa, Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Salvation Army, Neepawa, Frozen Fire Studios, along with ArtsForward, as well as many students from Beautiful Plains School Division, are all to be thanked for making this day possible, Sisley said. She reiterated that anyone from the community interested in attending the powwows is more than welcome to come and take in either one of the presentations. Home Buddies by Rita Friesen. Something to think about. It is a rare morning that does not include a phone call with a grandson. Some calls are 5-minute check-ins. Others are lengthy philosophical ramblings, world events, faith creeds, family history, or life lessons. I come away from these discussions with a deep appreciation for the younger generation's thinking ability to take on today's world. The one morning we pursued the connection between the prayer we termed the Lord's Prayer and the content of the 10 Commandments. We start our prayer with Our Father who art in heaven, and saw a parallel, you shall have no other gods before me. Continuing with this reason, lead us not in temptation, deliver us from evil, is the covering the thou shalt nots, the coveting, the murdering, and the disrespect of parents. The conversation included the impact of repeating by rote, and do we think that we are about what we are saying? Then on to what would happen if we only offered the words we truly meant. I admitted that sometimes I would be tempted to leave out a line or a phrase and probably wouldn't be alone. The text message I received Sunday morning in lieu of the call. Is there a reason why church doors are closed during service? It seems to me the best time for an open door. Had me thinking while out for a walk this morning. Heard an early morning service in progress, but couldn't hear what was spoken, sung. I was still able to enjoy some familiar music while I sat on the bench for a bit. As I left, I wondered, though, how many people might be curious, lonely, you name it, and be turned away by that closed door. I got what I needed from the bench outside. I have the memories and teachings to fall back on, though. Had the door been open, I might have poked my head in. Just a random thought is all. Me being me, I have to point out that there are practical reasons. I'm sure, like noise from outside, especially in the city, or weather for comfort. Now, isn't that thought-provoking? The conversation following that reflected on his grandfather's singing Sunday morning sidewalk and the wisdom in the words of that song. There's something about a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. I stopped outside a Sunday school and listened to the songs that they were singing. It got us wondering if he, a very tall, slender, tall young man who has avoided hair and facial hair since the pandemic for mental health reasons, would have been welcomed inside. Where do we as people of professing faith put our faith into action with the acceptance and inclusions? I grow from these conversations. I am thankful for my ideology to be challenged. These check-ins are so much more important than simple checking in, though if I have not heard from him in a day or two, I call. Grandma's right. They are moments of connecting, moments of affirmation and reassurance for both of us. Wait till I tell you all about today's conversation. And Gladstone's Glory Years, School Patrol 1952. This is a photo of a school patrol from approximately 1950. It was featured in Chapter 8 of the Glory Years book series published by the Gladstone Age Press. The officers, William McIntyre, Eldred Lackey, and John Dewar. Elks, John Schramm, and Elkin Principal Stevenson. Patrol, Roddy McCaskill, Freddie Tester, Dow Fraser, Gary Rogers, Eddie Pools, Jimmy Persh, Jim Smith, and Ian McIntyre. And in the background are some of the teachers and most of the pupils who came out to see the patrol get their picture taken. And Helen's kitchen today features beets recipes. And she just gives a bit of information on the beet. One vegetable that ranks very high on my favorite foods is the humble beet. The beet's reputation has skyrocketed over the last few years, boasting exceptional nutritional qualities with essential vitamins and minerals such as potassium, magnesium, and manganese. This veggie has a lot to brag about. Beets are native to the Mediterranean region. Ancient Greeks cultivated beetroot around 300 BC. They didn't use the roots of the plant and ate only the leaves. Romans ate only the roots, but for medicinal purposes, treating fever, constipation, skin disorders, and as an aphrodisiac, to name a few. Many use it to cure the "I had one too many drinks last night" condition. Beets filled with nutritional benefits help eliminate the toxins from alcohol consumption. In the food industry, beetroot juice is used as a colorant. It is used to give color to tomato juice. Sauces, desserts, jams, and other food items are not red enough. Often used in salad and soups, the entire plant is edible and can be boiled, baked, steamed, or eaten raw. Beta vulgaris, beets, encompasses 4 varieties of plants. The garden beet we know, Swiss chard, forage beets that are fed to livestock, and sugar beets used to make sugar. Beets weren't always a deep red color. Beets in Greek and Roman times were either black or white, as opposed to the red, yellow, and white sugar beet varieties we know today. The red pigmentation was selected and bred into the beet in the mid-18th century. Around the 16th century, the cultivation of beets spread throughout Europe and Asia. Beets have a myriad of culinary possibilities with their sweet yet earthy flavor. Roasting beets either whole or cut up helps to caramelize the natural sugars within the vegetable, giving them a more intense, sweeter flavor. And she's got samples of oven beet fries, easy beet borscht, and beet and orange salad. And here's an article on caregiver burnout. There are 2 kinds of caregivers: formal caregivers who are being paid to give care, and informal caregivers, often relatives, who are unpaid. No matter where you fall, the realities of being a caregiver can be breathtakingly difficult and breathtakingly wonderful. Caregiver burnout is not a formal diagnosis, but it is associated with anxiety and depression. This risk is real, and I'm sitting here saying that you need to take care of you today. Caregivers have internal and external resources that they tap into to find their drive. When these resources are no longer available or the level of stress outweighs the level of resource, we hit burnout. Caregiver burnout feels like an emotional exhaustion and like you've hit the end of your rope. It's common to feel wrought with guilt. It's difficult to see our benefits of being a caregiver, and you become detached. So, what next? Addressing burnout is a personal choice, and maybe you aren't ready. That's okay. But if you are ready, here are some things we can do to mitigate risk. As a professional, remember that it's stressful for caregivers when professionals expect them to meet outcome goals in the person they are caring for, especially if burnout keeps them from meeting said goals. As a caregiver, if someone offers to help you, accept it. Your brain is going to come up with a million justifications for why you don't need or deserve help. But I'm telling you right now, it's dead wrong. You deserve help, and you deserve to allow yourself to ask for help. You cannot expect yourself to be able to provide everything to the person you are caring for. No one person can be everything for another person, which is why we need connection. Give yourself permission to take breaks and take care of yourself in small ways. Ask yourself, am I setting realistic goals? We are hardest on ourselves and will set expectations we would never expect in others. We should always strive for better. It would benefit organizations to provide their staff with information on evaluating caregiver burnout in the caregivers of their clients. There is not a clearer referral path for caregiver burnout. This can leave someone willing to ask for help, but lost in a very complicated system. Being a caregiver has so many benefits. As a formal caregiver, the joy that I get in seeing joy in my clients is indescribable. Caregiving allows care recipients to maintain independence for home longer. Informal caregivers are nourished by the closer bond that they have with the loved one that they are caring for. This is a beautiful path to have in life, and I commend you for walking with me. If you have identified yourself as a caregiver, I want you to ask yourself today, is it possible I could be at risk of burnout? If there's a voice inside you telling you that there could be a chance, then it's time to take care of yourself. You cannot be an effective caregiver if you don't have anything left to give. You deserve it. And we need to support them as much as they support us. Marlies Soltis hosts wellness event in support of the MFWP. The picture of the Minnedosa Beach Pavilion hosted a wellness event called It's Time to Live, inspired on September 10th by Casper Werahan. Cool evening air, rolling valleys, and a sunset over the lake. These were the brilliant backdrops for a wellness event held in Minnedosa on Saturday, September 10th. Marlies Soltis of Inspire Studio invited all interested to the Minnedosa Beach Pavilion from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. that day to engage in cozy conversation with educated professionals about personal health. Under the title, It's Time to Live Inspired, it's hoped that those who came will do just that. We talked about everything wellness, mental health, self-care, and more, said Soltis. We had an emphasis on mindfulness, gratitude, getting back into nature, setting boundaries, listening to your inner voice and self, and the importance of a creative outlet. Soltis added, our speakers were Deandra from Grit and Growth Wellness, which has offices in Erickson and Neepawa, Julia Senchuk of J.K. Senchuk Counseling, which is located in Brandon, and myself. Fitting with the core themes, Live Inspired was hosted in support of the Manitoba Farmer Wellness Program, MFWP. In alignment with this, a representative for the MFWP's board, Roberta Galbraith, also acted as MC for the evening. The MFWP is a program developed specifically for farmers and their families to help them get the assistance they need, providing a 6-session, no-cost counseling program. Counseling is provided to professionals who have backgrounds in agriculture, and clients are able to remain anonymous when looking for help. However, sessions in the past 6 days can be arranged at cost if desired by the client by discussing with their counselor. We live in a farming community. Our community and those surrounding us would not exist without farmers. Farmers are the ones who are putting food on our tables. We need to support them as much as they support us, Soltis enthused. Every job comes with stress and worry. However, a farmer experiences stress and worry in every aspect of their career. Machinery upkeep, weather, fuel prices, input costs, labor, sleep, cash flow, grain prices, cattle prices. The list goes on, and they have to cope while sitting in their tractors or combining until the wee hours of the morning. According to the mental health program, 58% of farmers meet the criteria for an anxiety disorder, while 35% meet the criteria for a depression diagnosis. Additionally, 40% of farmers are reluctant to get help due to stigma. These results come from a 2015 study by the University of Guelph, led by Dr. Andrea Jones-Bitton. To support the MFWP, a silent auction was held throughout the duration of the event. Through the auction, Live Inspired was able to raise a donation of $600. Reflecting on the event as a whole, Soltis told the Banner and Press that she loved how the event went over. We had a great and very captive audience. Our MC had a knack of making it feel so intimate and at ease, and our speakers gave everyone some great advice that we could all take home and integrate into our lives, said Soltis. Our event space and views over the lake added such an ambiance that one can never get enough of. She added, I feel that this was a triple win event. Everyone who attended really took away some great points and advice. We were able to support such a great program. And in bringing this event to fruition, we were able to partner up, work with so many local businesses and entrepreneurs in our area, showcasing what they all have to offer. A suspicious person complaint leads to arrest in Gladstone. This sawed-off shotgun was found in the jacket of a suspicious person in Gladstone on September 15th. On September 15th at approximately 5:05 p.m., Spruce Plains, Neepawa RCMP, responded to report of a suspicious male and female walking around the community of Gladstone. Officers conducted a patrol in the community and located the male walking along Regent Street. The officer approached the suspect, and when he was asked for his identification, the suspect dropped his backpack and coat and ran off with the police officer in pursuit. The foot pursuit continued down several streets and behind several homes before the suspect surrendered without incident to the pursuing officer in the parking lot of a nearby apartment complex. After the arrest of the subject, the jacket and backpack were seized, and when the officer picked up the jacket, a loaded, sawed-off shotgun was located within it. A further investigation into the activities of the suspects led to the recovery of a stolen pickup truck out of Verdon, as well as a stolen motorcycle from Landmark. Sean Paul Connors, 41, of Brandon, was remanded into custody on numerous firearms-related charges, as well as for the possession of property obtained by crime, possession of a controlled drug, and resisting arrest. Officers later located the 21-year-old female from Brandon, who was arrested and later released for court scheduled November 22nd in Minnedosa. Spruce Plains RCMP continue to investigate. And looking back, 1962, International Inner Wheel President visits local members at Clear Lake. And pictured is the international president of the Inner Wheel Club, Mrs. J.G. Cheer, and her husband, seated, came all the way from Surrey, England in 1962. Mrs. Merkley of Winnipeg, Minnedosa President Dagmar Ferguson, Mrs. Wilkin of Winnipeg, and Neepawa President Gloria Thomas kept them company at Clear Lake. 110 years ago, another familiar figure on the streets of Neepawa has disappeared forever. W.D. Steele fell a victim to typhoid fever and passed away on Sunday evening. 100 years ago, the Gladstone Age of the last week mentioned the sale of 2 purebred Jersey cows of D. Smith's herd to W.J. Rowe of Inkerman. 90 years ago, Eden, William Smithson celebrated his 81st birthday on Sunday. McCreary, Miss Marjorie Hill, spent the weekend with her parents at Norgate. A big yield. The Tribune is informed on good authority that a 3-acre field yielded 210 bushels of wheat on the farm offered by Adolph Pearson, southwest of Minnedosa. The 3-acre plot is newly broken and well-worked land, and the variety of grain is Sears. Reports have it that many fields in the surrounding district are turning in better than 50 bushels of wheat to the acre. Minnedosa Tribune. 80 years ago, Kelwood, Private Bernard Gilmore, RCE, who has been stationed at the West Coast for the past 2 months, spent the weekend at his home here en route to Winnipeg. 70 years ago, A.V. Gabriel of the Neepawa Collegiate Staff was named president of the Neepawa Local of the Manitoba Teachers Society at the annual meeting of that organization, held here recently in the Central School. 60 years ago, a large sign in the west side of Neepawa proclaims to all and sundry that this town is the winner of a beauty award. A few yards closer to town, the ditch contains a collection of rubble left there since a fire occurred on a highway transport truck, August 28th. Members of the Neepawa and the Minnedosa Inner Wheel Clubs entertained the international president of the organization, Mrs. J.G. Cheer of Surrey, England, and her husband at a luncheon at the Clear Lake Golf Clubhouse on Friday, September 14th. 50 years ago, the appearance of 2 tombstones discovered when workmen uncovered them while excavating a basement on Boundary Street, which created an air of mystery around Neepawa last week, has been partly solved at least. It appears that in the early days of 1881, before the town of Neepawa was incorporated, 2 brothers by the name of Howat lived here. One was a baker and operated a bake shop and confectionery where the present Hurl's bakery stands, and the other brother was a drayman. There were also salesmen in those days who came from the east and sold gravestones to the pioneers in the west. These men would take orders and then ship the stones to their customers. Apparently 2 of these stones were sent to Neepawa by mistake, and as there was no one to claim them, they became the property of the drayman. He had no use for them, so they took him to the other Howat, the baker and the candy maker. He turned them upside down and used them as a table to pour out his candy to cool. They were quite satisfactory, and no one would ever suspect they were not tombstones. In 1919, the bakery was sold to Sam Seaborn and renovated, and a new marble slab was used in place of the tombstones. The chap who delivered the bread for the bake shop by the name of Claude Tyler was asked to take the old tombstones out to the nuisance grounds and get rid of them. Instead, he took them home and used them for steps. He lived on Boundary Street. Where were the tombstones supposed to go instead of Neepawa? 40 years ago, opposition is quickly growing among merchants to a bypass around Neepawa. A group of merchants located along Highway 16 and 5 near Neepawa are getting organized to make representation to several government agencies, said John Antoinette, co-owner of Chicken Corral in Neepawa. Councillor Bob Durston said the Department of Highways is pushing for a firm stand on the issue from Council, as Neepawa is the only town on the Yellowhead route in Manitoba without a bypass. 30 years ago, Plumas, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Mervyn Smith on the birth of a son, Gregory Dale, on September 13th in Neepawa Hospital. 20 years ago, the local Terry Fox Run raised over $6,000, easily surpassing its $4,500 goal. And down at the bottom is an advertisement from Canada Packers from 1927 featuring Click Luncheon Meat. It was printed in September 24th, 1942 edition of the press. Canada Packers was produced by Maple Leaf Mills in the 1980s, and Click is still produced today. And it's a Click and rice casserole. Neepawa remembers Terry's legacy. Traditional Terry Fox Run returns to the community by Owen Devereaux. And the 2022 Terry Fox Run returned in full force this year to Neepawa with a celebration of local cancer survivors and supporters on September 18th. In a way, it felt like a return to normal, a chance to see old friends, share old stories, and most importantly, experience that feeling and hope and kinship with those who understand what you have gone through because they've gone through it themselves. The Terry Fox Run took place on Sunday, September 18th, in just over 600 communities across Canada, including Neepawa. This year marked the first time local participants could take part in a traditional run since 2019. In 2020 and 2021, people completed the runs either virtually or with staggered start times due to COVID-19 protocols and precautions. Event organizer Dr. Kelly Krasaniak said that returning to what would be defined as a normal version of the Terry Fox Run felt incredible for all the participants. It was a special day. We had quite a few cancer survivors out here today, which was great. It's always wonderful to be able to support, encourage, recognize them in their journeys, said Dr. Krasaniak. The structure of the Terry Fox Run involved runners, walkers, and bikers beginning their 5-kilometer journey at the running track behind NACI. After one complete lap around the track, they then traveled to the DQ checkpoint before returning to the track to complete the day. This year's final tally for the Terry Fox Run in Neepawa was still being tabulated. Those results will appear in a future edition of the Banner and Press. The annual Terry Fox Run is held in commemoration of Fox, who lost his leg to cancer at the age of 18 and set off in 1980 to run across the country and raise money for cancer research. Fox ran an average of 42 kilometers daily for 143 days. He, however, had to cut his run short on September 1st, 1980, because the cancer returned in his lungs. In total, he had traveled 5,370 kilometers. The 22-year-old died on June 28, 1981. Road work is taking place in Neepawa, and pictured work has started on Davidson Street to prepare it for it to be paved. This is what the road looked like as of earlier this week. There's also been some construction on the road in front of the Yellowhead Centre. Neepawa Middle School benefits from National Tree Program. Tree Canada and Home Hardware Neepawa partner on local commitment. And pictured are left to right, and Neepawa Middle School Parent Council Secretary Liesl Milligan, Parent Council Treasurer Heather Sackett, Lorenda Boss of Tree Canada, Neepawa Home Hardware Building Centre dealer owner Michelle Gerard, Neepawa Middle School Principal Val Perieski, and Vice Principal Sherry Hollier. And this is by Owen Devereaux. About half a dozen new trees are going in the ground near Neepawa Middle School, thanks to the efforts of Tree Canada and our local Home Hardware. The trees will be planted close to the children's play area on the northwest side of the grounds. The cost for the purchase and installation of the trees will be looked after through a grant provided by Home Hardware in Neepawa. This is the 8th year Home Hardware has partnered with Tree Canada, which is a national nonprofit dedicated to planting and nurturing trees in rural and urban environments. To date, the group, along with community partners from across the country, have planted more than 83 million trees. Michelle Gerard, the dealer-owner of Neepawa Home Hardware, said that we're very proud to partner with Tree Canada as well as the town of Neepawa in this manner. As a small business owner in this community, I am excited to work with the town and our local middle school to bring trees to Neepawa neighborhood that needs them, said Gerard. We're happy to partner with Tree Canada. They're doing the majority of the work, and we also appreciate the town of Neepawa helping us out with selecting the trees, and they usually plant the trees for us as well. It's a good partnership. Neepawa Middle School Vice Principal Sherry Hollier noted at the Banner and Press that they were very appreciative of the donation, adding that it will provide some natural beauty to their playground. All adults are now eligible for the new COVID-19 vaccine. Manitoba Health announced on September 21st that eligibility for the new bivalent COVID-19 vaccine is being expanded to include anyone 18 years of age and older. The bivalent vaccine has been developed to provide protection against 2 strains of COVID-19, including the original strain and the Omicron variant. Newly eligible people can begin booking their appointments as of September 22nd, either online or by calling the vaccine call center. It is recommended that people wait 6 months from their last vaccine dose before getting their bivalent booster. However, the minimum interval between the last dose and the booster is 3 months. Local Reverend shares family's connections to the Queen by Kira Patterson. And pictured is Reverend Chad McCharles with his great-grandfather's chair in which Queen Elizabeth II sat while on a visit to Manitoba. Following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, many Manitobans have been reminiscing about the visits the Queen made to the province during her reign. Reverend Chad McCharles, minister for the Neepawa United Anglican Shared Ministry, created a display at the church which featuring several items with connection to the Queen to coincide with the official period of mourning. Though it would be nice to just put together a little focus of our grief collectively in our congregation, because Canadians collectively have many connections to Her late Majesty, Reverend McCharles stated in an interview with NACTV. One of the items on display is a chair with a personal connection to McCharles. A special item for my own family is this chair. In her home it is affectionately known as the Queen's chair, he shared. The chair belonged to his great-grandfather, but before that it had been in the royal suite at the government house in Winnipeg. McCharles explained that his great-grandfather, Frank May, was born in London and immigrated to Canada, so he was always a monarchist himself. May was working as head gardener for the legislature in Government House in 1970 when Queen Elizabeth II came for a visit to the province. During that visit, he actually had the opportunity to meet Her Majesty at the Government House. McCharles noted that his great-grandfather was making a floor arrangement for the Queen in the royal suite when she came in, and she spoke with him and sat in the chair inside the room. That was a great highlight for him as a monarchist, McCharles said. When May was retiring years later, his employers asked him what he would like as a retirement gift. He asked for this chair because he knew Her Majesty had sat in it. The chair was later passed down to May's daughter, McCharles's mother, who passed it down to him. It's a little piece of royal history, and it reflects our royalist leanings in our family, he expressed. He added that not only have the Neepawa United Anglican Shared Ministry congregation been interested in seeing the royal display, but he also had community members ask him if they could come and see it during the church office hours. He's also gotten questions about whether honoring the Queen was just to do with the Anglican side of the church, but he noted that it's more to do with the fact that we're all Canadians. We have many connections to the monarchy here in Canada, he stated. For us as Canadians, it's important to mark this. After all, it's been 70 years since we've been through anything like this as a nation. In addition to the chair, the display will also feature a portrait of the royal family with the Bailey family, a story that has run in the Banner and Press previously. This personal visit to local Brian Bailey's father's farm near Carberry was during the same visit during which McCharles, his great-grandfather, met the Queen. Agassiz MLA congratulate Kinsman Courts too. Eileen Clark, MLA for Agassiz, visited the Kinsman Courts 2 senior housing complex to congratulate them on their recent grand opening. Clark wasn't able to attend the official grand opening, so she came on Friday, September 16th, to present them with a congratulatory certificate. Clark noted that this complex is much needed in the community in this area, giving seniors a home where they can keep an active social life and feel connected to the community. She added that the meals available are of a high quality and the activities room features enough space for all kinds of hobbies, such as quilting. And pictured from the left, Denny Phillips, Neepawa Kinsman Senior Citizens Housing Incorporated Secretary-Treasurer, Eileen Clark, MLA for Agassiz, and Dana Menzies, Executive Director for Kinsman Courts 1 and 2. Layers Under the Surface. The Layers Under the Surface exhibit is at ArtsForward in Neepawa and will be on display until October 1st by Casper Wareham. There can be more to something than meets the eye. Sometimes, perhaps more often than we expect, more time is required to better understand something, or similarly, to really know someone. To become acquainted with the complexities that lie beneath one's initial impression, that is what the Indigenous-made Layers Under the Surface exhibit at Neepawa's ArtsForward highlights. On September 15th, all were invited to the gallery at 7 p.m. to converse, enjoy fresh bannock and homemade hamburger soup, the vibrant art, and to meet with the artist behind it all, Melissa Perieski. Born in Portage la Prairie and raised on a farm outside Austin, Perieski is an Ojibwe artist who has been creating for as long as she can remember. When she was younger, she always saw her family, and in particular her older sister, drawing sketches and making art. I wanted to do that too, and I just continued to blossom from there, said Perieski. With this exhibit, I really wanted to show everyone the different styles I enjoy doing. Perieski added, everyone has different layers to them. You can only really see one at first, so I really wanted to be open and share with everyone. Self-expression and the peace and healing that comes from a painting is a cornerstone for Perieski. Many of the pieces on display also incorporated Indigenous art styles, a factor she felt important to share with the community. It's my family, honoring my family and the depths of that, Perieski confided. Our fears, our struggles, our hopes, and our healing as Indigenous people. In terms of medium, Perieski told the Banner and Press that although she has experimented with other mediums, such as oils, her favorite to work with is acrylics. I love to work fast with my pieces, and acrylics really resonate with me, said Perieski. Sometimes I start with a sketch because I get an idea that comes to me randomly, or I'll listen to music and paint what comes to me. In her final thought, she shared that she hopes her work will inspire others to pursue their own passions, stating, I hope that my art will encourage people to go after what inspires them, whether it's art, music, anything. Layers Under the Surface remains on display at ArtsForward until October 1st. And the Titans host their home opener. Camden Smith and the Neepawa Titans hit the ice for their MJHL regular hockey season home opener on Saturday, September 17th against the Dauphin Kings. And the Neepawa Titans split back-to-back with Dauphin Kings by Owen Devereaux. And the Neepawa Titans celebrate their game-winning goal in overtime against the Dauphin Kings on Saturday at the Yellowhead Centre in Neepawa. The first 2 games of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League regular season were almost carbon copies for the Neepawa Titans. In both matchups against the Dauphin Kings, the Titans ended up letting 1-goal lead slip away from them late in regulation. Fortunately for Neepawa, lessons were learned from that experience, leading to the team earning 3 of a possible 4 points in the standings. The first game of the year for the Titans was on the road to Dauphin on Friday, September 16th. There, the team had to witness the raising of the championship banner for the 21-22 Turnbull Cup champions. After a pair of scoreless periods, Neepawa collected a goal at just 5:41 into the third period off a Callan Reynolds shot on the power play. The Titan was hold on to that lead until the final 25 seconds of regulation, when Anthony Bax scored, ruining Titans goaltender Peyton Trzaska's shutout bid. Bax proved to be a bad news for Neepawa again in overtime, as less than a minute into extra time, Bax went end-to-end and completed the comeback with a wraparound play, securing the 2-1 win on opening night. The home opener the next night, the Neepawa Titans hosted Dauphin at the Yellowhead Centre. Just like the previous evening, the game proved to be a real back-and-forth affair between 2 evenly matched teams. And, unfortunately, just like the previous evening, a late goal in the third period by the Dauphin proved to be a problem for the Titans, as Blake Boudreau scored for the Kings with 1:09 left in regulation. For overtime, both squads had tremendous chances to put a game away, including an end-to-end break by the Kings that was broken up by a save from Titans goalie Mason LeBroux. Shortly after the opportunity, Neepawa replied with one of its own, as Will Hyatt scored the goal win, scoring with a minute left in overtime, making the final score 3-2. Josh Romanek and Parker Mearns scored for the Titans during regulation. A positive response to adversity. Titans head coach and general manager Ken Pearson said that while surrendering a lead late in both games is not a positive by any means, the response from the bench in the second game was something they can build on. Some of our older guys took control and reined in everyone's emotions, themselves included. We settled down on the bench and just didn't play in overtime uptight like I think we did in Dauphin. They were calm. They knew what needed to be done and did it, indicated Pearson. It's a good response against Dauphin. The Kings are not the exact same team that won the league last year, but they still have some pieces from the roster that will make them a real challenge. But for our roster, it was important too, no matter who we played, to go out there and compete. Pearson also commended the performance of goaltender Peyton Trzaska and Mason LeBroux, who both just joined the team before the start of the regular season. They were acquired to fill the void in net as Gavin Renwick recovers from an ankle injury. The Titans played a midday game on Tuesday, September 20th against the Swan Valley Stampeders and lost 6-3. And the NACI Tigers toppled the Park West Outlaws. The Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute Tigers figuratively, and in some cases, such as the photos above, literally ran over and through the Park West Outlaws recently in rural Manitoba Football League action. The Tigers rushed their way to a 39-0 victory over Park West on Friday, September 16th. The win improved Neepawa's regular season record to 2-0 on the year. Additional game statistics were not available from the Rural Manitoba Football League website before the banner and press publication deadline. North Central Hockey League taking hiatus by Owen Devereaux. The North Central Hockey League, NCHL, will take a 1-year pause after it was determined there would not be enough teams able to ice a roster for the upcoming season. In a media statement released on Thursday, September 15th, NCHL representatives for the 4-team league indicated that the Russell Rams confirmed they are dealing with a player shortage. The Swan Valley Axemen, meanwhile, indicated that while they were low in player numbers, they were hopeful they'd have enough to play the season. As for the other 2 members clubs, the Minneota Elkhorn Seahawks announced their intention to join the Tiger Hills Hockey League, while the Wayway-Sakapa Warriors requested a leave of absence, citing player shortages and organizational difficulties. A delegation with the Grandview Comets, who last played in the league during the 2019-2020 season, attended the meeting held on September 8th and showed interest in returning in the league. At the end of the league meeting, a motion was passed to take a hiatus for 22-23 season and reconvene in the spring of 2023 to attempt a return in the 2023-24 season. The North Central Hockey League is a senior A-level league that has been operating in western Manitoba and some locations in Saskatchewan since 1956-57. Minnedosa seniors get their voices heard. Pictured from left, Nora Drager, 50-plus Center and Services to Seniors Board member, Carol Brown, 50-plus Center coordinator, Doreen Stapleton, Senior Strategy Ministers Advisor Committee, Alice Richards, Services to Seniors coordinator, and Greg Nesbitt, NLA for Riding Mountain. On Friday, September 16th, Minnedosa was one of 7 centers to host a community engagement network session for the Aging in Place mandate through Engage Manitoba. This was an opportunity for local seniors to give their input for what improvements they want to see and what services the province can offer to its rural seniors as they age. From finding ways to help older Manitobans remain living in their own homes or communities to improving access to services and supports as well as maintain active and healthy lifestyles. MLA Greg Nesbitt was in attendance, and the event attracted 65 attendees. Doreen Stapleton stated that the information gathered from the attendees is collected anonymously, and the shared information will help structure future legislations. She added that she is very happy that rural Manitoba seniors can have a voice. Share your thoughts and experiences on the online survey on or before September 30th at engagemb.ca. Gladstone Legion honors the late Queen. The Gladstone Legion held a service in honor of the late Queen Elizabeth II on Monday, September 19th, the same day as the official funeral for the monarch, who passed away on September 8th. A floral wreath was placed at the Gladstone War Memorial Cenotaph as part of the ceremony. And middle school students help with Smile Cookies. The annual Tim Hortons Smile Cookie campaign took place this past week in Neepawa. All proceeds from the Smile Cookie sales went to the Neepawa Middle School Play Structure Fund. To show their appreciation for the support, students from Neepawa Middle School volunteered some time to help out with the campaign, drawing attention to the fundraisers with signs along the roadside, as well as putting smiles on some of the cookies being sold. And a farming simulator comes to Manitoba. The popular video game Farming Simulator has come to Manitoba to scan machinery to incorporate local residents' unique and rare versatile tractors into their game. Their main location was the Manitoba Threshermen's Museum grounds, located in Austin, to see the immense collection of farm equipment, including Big Roy. Over the past week, they have traveled to some of the museum's volunteers' farms to also include pieces of their personal versatile collections. Pictured above, a worker scanning one of the versatile tractors located at the museum. Above right, one of the images of the scan inside the cab of the tractor. Looking forward to reading the full story in next week's Farmer's Advocate. And also we have a special section called Meet the Teachers for this year's school year. I will not read all the teachers' names because there are a lot of them, but you can see featured the Beautiful Plains School Division. As of June 2020, enrollment was at 2,064 students for the upcoming year. Enrollment is expected to grow by September from summer enrollments. This is a considerable increase from 2018, when Beautiful Plains School Division had 1,873 students, and 2008 enrollment numbers were at 1,465. For the 2022-2023 school year, there are 135 teachers and 275 full-time staff. Including those numbers are 18 new teachers and a new mental health facilitator. The school bus routes are at 22 regular routes and a total of 3,259 kilometers per day. There are over 500 extracurricular trips made annually. During the 2022 summer season, there were multiple capital projects completed. Many of those projects were in Neepawa. The track was resurfaced and an air conditioning unit was installed at the Neepawa Gymnasium. Air handling units were installed at NACI. Both Brookdale and NACI had window replacements. NACI, HMK, and RJWA received LED lighting upgrades. And there is a new concrete walkway at JM Young. For the programming this year, the division is anticipating a number of programs to resume, including assemblies, field trips, travel, group trip activities, meet the teacher nights, and extracurricular in-person events. Beautiful Plains School Division's apprenticeship program continues to grow, and their student information system is changing to increase access over time, which will allow for things such as online payments. And pictured here is Hazel M. Kellington School, Neepawa Middle School, Neepawa Area Collegiate, J.M. Young School, Brookdale School, R.J. Waugh Elementary School, Carberry Collegiate. How much should a backpack weigh? Backpacks are handy tools that carry an array of gear. Students rely on them to hold books, while hikers and campers utilize backpacks to carry items such as food and beverages that keep them safe on trails. Even office workers may turn to backpacks to carry laptops or other tools of the trade. Backpacks are handy resources, but overstuffed backpacks may cause injury. Backpacks should carry only the weight that people can handle, and there are guidelines that can help people safely utilize backpacks. The weight of a backpack depends on the age of the person using it. Generally speaking, adults should not exceed 20% of the total body mass when loading backpacks. That means a healthy person weighing 200 pounds should not carry more than 40 pounds in his or her backpack. In regard to children, research indicates that a children's backpack should weigh no more than 10% of what the student weighs. These findings are based on a Spanish study involving 49 primary school-aged children. Therefore, if a child weighs 70 pounds, he or she can only carry up to 7 pounds in a backpack. Individuals should also follow a few other backpack recommendations to alleviate injuries. It's not a good idea to wear a backpack hanging from only one shoulder. A backpack should be worn on both shoulders and ideally with a lumbar strap. This will help to prevent muscular pains by providing well-rounded support. A backpack with wide padded straps can minimize pressure on the shoulders, back, and collarbone. Backpacks made of lightweight material will not add much additional weight to what's being carried. Another tip is for children and adults to pack the heaviest item carried in the backpack closer to the center of the back to minimize strain. Failure to follow the guidelines may result in pain and injuries and have negative effects on balance, which increase the risk of falls or other injuries. Whenever possible, individuals may want to use trolley backpacks, which are on wheels. They can be dragged, alleviating the need to carry heavy loads. This is Pine Creek School Division. Welcomes back all the staff and students. They started our school year with professional developments in literacy, wellness, technology, and trauma-based learning. Pine Creek School Division currently has an enrollment of 1,100 students, which is a slight increase from previous years. Our catchment includes 5 elementary schools and 2 high schools in Austin, McGregor, Gladstone, Plumas, and Langruth. Additionally, we have 6 colony schools within our school division: Cascade, Emerald, Forest Home, Hidden Valley, Muller, and West Plains. We are excited to continue with our teacher-mediated option. Teacher-mediated option delivers live high school instruction via a virtual classroom to Manitoba students under the age of 21. All course credits earned in such semesters go towards a Manitoba Grade 12 diploma. One of our new initiatives, which is being run at William Morton Collegiate in Gladstone, is our graphic arts program. As part of our budget in 21-22, we invested in the technology training program in hardware to provide a robust program for our students as an additional learning opportunity. We will be planning forward to develop a high school apprenticeship program for students who are interested in developing their skills in the trade sector. We are looking forward to having this up and running for the following school year. Our priority focuses for this year will be literacy, learning throughout our provincial curriculum content, Indigenous learning, and mental health, well-being support, and education. Well-being will be a major focus as we look forward to beginning our year with a tone of normalcy as we continue to recover from the pandemic. We would like to bless our families and staff a smooth start to the 21-22 school year. Excuse me. And there's Gladstone Elementary School, William Morton Collegiate, Plumas Elementary School, Langruth Elementary School, Pine Creek, McGregor Elementary School, McGregor Collegiate, and Austin Elementary School. And did you know, special education? The percentage of students with disabilities who had a specific learning disability declined by a significant margin between 2010-11 school year and the 2020-21 school year. Data from the National Centre for Education Statistics indicates that 32.7% of students with disabilities had a specific learning disability in 2021, which marks a 4% decrease from the decade prior. That decrease occurred despite a steadily rising student-teacher ratio in special education. In fact, the U.S. Department of Education reports that the current student-teacher ratio of 17:1 in special education is higher than the overall student-teacher ratio in general education. And how the arts benefit academic performance. The cost of products and services continues to rise, and organizations everywhere have increasingly been feeling the pressure to reevaluate budgets. It's no different in school districts nationwide, with the school boards making difficult decisions about which programs to keep and which will have to go in order to save money. Music and arts programs often are the first to be cut when school budgets are tightened. The organization Save the Music says that during the Great Recession in 2008 and 2009, per pupil spending in public schools decreased by approximately 7% across the country. This led to a trickle-down effect that resulted in the cancellation of arts and music programs. Since then, many districts have continued to cut arts programs due to budget limitations. COVID-19 also did little to help the situation. Art program cutbacks are rarely met with open arms, and the resistance has a lot to do with the positive effects of such offerings have on students' academic performance. Better test results. Numerous studies have found a correlation between early introduction to music education and a number of benefits for children. Music education can help develop communication skills, brain plasticity, language and motor skills. A study conducted by the University of California in Los Angeles used a database of more than 25,000 middle and high school students. The researchers found that students involved in arts performed better on standardized achievement tests than students with lower arts involvement. Furthermore, data from 2015 from the College Board, which produces the SAT, found students who took 4 years of arts and music classes while in high school scored an average of 92 points higher on their SATs than students who only took one half year or less. Improved emotional states. In addition to better performance on tests, a review in Frontiers in Psychology examined several studies linking arts and aesthetic experience with broad improvements in people's emotional states. Those improvements include greater psychological and physical well-being. Community involvement, participation, and even appreciation of the arts can have an impact as well. Researchers from the Department of Public Administration at the University of Illinois in Chicago found that being an art curator or audience member leads to higher levels of civic engagement and social tolerance. The support and therapy company Evolve Treatment Centers reports that involvement in music and arts leads to an overall higher GPAs, higher scores in math and reading, and a reduced risk of behavioral problems and suspensions. Music and arts educations are important to students' development. Keeping those programs in lives and schools can benefit students in many ways. And we have Rolling River School Division. Rolling River School Division is excited for the 22-23 school year. Although the exact enrollment numbers will not be available until the provincial reporting date, the division expects enrollment to be similar to last year's at approximately 1,800 students in kindergarten to grade 12. RRSD has several new capital projects this year. Minnedosa Collegiate Buildings and Envelope Upgrade is currently undergoing construction. Tanner's Crossing School is getting a heat pump upgrade and will eventually be resurfacing the tarmac. Rivers Collegiate is in the process of designing a science lab upgrade. Rapid City will be installing a new heat management system. There will also be a transportation garage renovation and maintenance shop construction, but both are currently pending. Rolling River School Division has been in operation since the beginning of the fall term in 1961. In March 1962, Elton Collegiate, Minnedosa Collegiate, Oak River Collegiate, Rivers Collegiate, and Sandy Lake Collegiate celebrated their opening ceremonies. These 5 schools were the start of the Rolling River School Division, stated RRSD Superintendent Jason Klein. We're looking forward to having students in class with their peers and participating in a full range of school curricular and extracurricular activities. Our division continues to focus on literacy, numeracy, cultural proficiency, mental health, and well-being for our students. Erickson Elementary School, Erickson Collegiate, Onanola Elementary School, Tanner's Crossing School, Minnedosa Collegiate, Rivers Elementary School, Rivers Collegiate, Rapid City School, and Oak River Elementary. And Turtle River School Division. The enrollment in Turtle River School Division has an estimated 700 students. All schools are very stable with no expected significant increase or decrease in enrollment. The Turtle River School Division has continuously supporting and growing its vocational program. This fall, our new electrical construction program will develop our students' skills in this trade area. In February 22, the facility hosted their first cohort of students. With upcoming school approaching, the program will continue to provide students with skills to achieve their goals and aspirations of working in the electrical trade. Turtle River School Division offers a strong woodworking, automotive, and human ecology programs for students in grades 7 to 12. Electrical construction will provide students with hands-on learning opportunities to engage learning. Many students and communities in our region will benefit significantly from this program. Achieving their qualifications for Level 1 apprenticeship will help support their growth and motivate them to reach their dream. It is important in the Turtle River School Division to offer programs that support all students. Turtle River School Division is able to offer a variety of academic and vocational programs, and this addition will continue to grow our quality educational opportunities for our students. At Turtle River School Division, we will see evidence of what we hope for our children and how we commit ourselves to achieving our aim to prepare youth to become citizens who will make the world a better place. We are proud of the rich variety and depth of challenging opportunities for our students. And pictured are Glenana School, McCreary School, École Laurier, Alonza School, and St. Rose School. And that concludes this news for Friday, September 23rd, 2022. Thanks for listening.